All right, let's get you out to America's Radio Newsline. Standing by, our pal John Abraham. He's a physicist at the University of St. Thomas School of Engineering in Minnesota. Mr. Abraham, welcome back to America's Radio News.
Oh, guys, thanks so much for having me back on again.
Well, it was a pretty big headline looking down the Google News, basically saying, hey, look, if you had any doubts, if you found yourself a skeptic that global warming was not occurring, you better think again, because a study that was, I guess, partly funded by the Koch brothers actually came out and basically confirmed that, yes, we can show empirically that the Earth is indeed warming.
Yeah, and it's great to talk to you guys about this new study. It was a bit strange because it's both exciting and it's caught a lot of attention, as you said, but at the same time, the scientists knew what the results were going to be before it was completed. So here's what happened. As you mentioned, the Koch brothers were one of the funders who paid for the story to look at whether the growth of cities had tricked scientists into thinking the Earth was warming. We call this the urban heat island effect. And what this group concluded was that, in fact, the Earth really is warming. Growth of cities has nothing to do about it. So the conclusions have really turned climate deniers on their ear, and now they've got to admit, as you say, the Earth is warming.
So, all right, the researchers concluded city growth is not the cause of warming. Is it carbon dioxide?
Oh, it's clear it's carbon dioxide. That's something we've known for well over 150 years. And as I mentioned, this story wasn't really news in the scientific community. As I said, scientists knew what the results were going to be, because what this group did was they confirmed what 3 other organizations have already known. So this is sort of the fourth nail in the coffin of this crazy argument about urban heat islands.
Right. We doing some investigating here from Mr. Mueller. He's a professor of physics at the University of California, Berkeley, author of Physics for Future Presidents. And he was one of the guys that shared this whole way of looking at this thing. And basically what they found out is that a third of the reporting stations, and this is where a lot of the skeptics had some pause. A lot of the reporting stations for temperature around the world, they found that 1/3 of them actually showed cooling temperatures around the globe, while 2/3 of them showed actual warming. So thus, through this process, which he goes at great length to describe, basically shows that the Earth is indeed warming. But here's how he concludes. Global warming is real. Perhaps our results will help cool this portion of the climate debate. Now, how much of the warming is due to humans and what will be the likely effects of that, we made no independent assessment of that.
That's right. Yeah, so they were very focused on just determining how real is global warming and whether the cities had an impact. Their study did not focus on the cause. Now, we all know the cause, and that is human emissions of carbon dioxide. But what you hit on, Chris, is something that I'd like to reinforce. Look, we need to quit asking whether the Earth is warming, and we need to focus on what to do about it. I mean, many conservatives need to quit embarrassing themselves by questioning the science and put forth their own market-based ideas on what to do about it. Right now, the only people with ideas on how to handle this are the progressives, and conservatives don't like the progressive ideas. So let's get some conservative ideas on the table, and then let's pick the best ideas moving forward to handle this problem.
But how would you do that if you've got folks denying the fact that humans are in any way, shape, or form, contributing to this?
Well, look, this isn't impossible because everyone wants a clean planet. No one wants a dirty planet. What we really need to do is we need to separate the people who will never agree from the people who finally will buy the science and help us come up with good solutions. I mean, for the folks who will never agree, it's a little like a whack-a-mole. You know that whack-a-mole game? My 6-year-old daughter loves it. They come up with one excuse of why climate change isn't happening. Scientists show that that's not true. They come up with another one and another one and another one. But I think they're in the minority. I think the majority of folks in this country are concerned about the environment, and they want to have good solutions that safeguard the economy and the environment at the same time.
Well, one last thing on this, Mr. Abraham, because, the conservatives out there, a lot of them that were credible anyway, were saying, look, you can empirically prove whether or not the Earth is warming. That is a hard data point that now has been proven. It seems beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is some warming going on the planet. Of course, this isn't the first time our planet has warmed. And now the question turns into, okay, can you be absolutely definitively sure that it is man's emissions of carbon dioxide that are causing it? And I guess the question they would put to you and to other researchers is, the last few times that the Earth has gone through their warming periods, how much man-made carbon dioxide was being emitted into the air at that point?
Well, that's a good question, and we have look, humans have not been emitting carbon dioxide for that long, so you can't you can't blame humans for what happened 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, or a million years ago. The real question is not whether humans are having an impact. Everyone knows they're having an impact. The question is how much of an impact, and most scientists studying this say that the human impact is dominating natural fluctuations. But the even more important question is, okay, so what do we do about it? What are the most cost-effective solutions we can come up with to improve our economy and improve the environment at the same time?
All right, John Abraham, he's a physicist at the University of St. Thomas School of Engineering in Minnesota. Now that we've got the really non-important stuff out of the way, let's talk about when you're going to get over here in D.C. and follow through on that brewski promise you've been...
You know what? I apologize for missing you guys last time. I owe you 2 beers now.
Okay, that's 2. All right. You said it on national radio.
That's right.
We appreciate it, sir. We'll talk
Thanks,
to you
John.
soon.
Thanks, bye.